Welcome to DBL. So Taylor Swift was a big winner at the Billboard Music Awards last night. She accepted her awards while on tour in South America and said she felt like the luckiest person in the world to have fans like hers. But the big story of the night that everybody's talking about, Morgan Wallen, who picked up 11 Billboard Awards, which are primarily based, by the way, on album and song sales. Now, during his speech, Morgan mentioned being shut out of the CMA Awards earlier this month. Take a look.
Like the song says, you win some, you lose some. The last award show I went to, we came home empty-handed. And this one, I don't have enough hands for them all. So thank you. This award, all these awards are really just, it's for my fans, man. So thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Morgan also did not receive a single Grammy nomination this year. Both the CMAs and the Grammys are voted on by industry professionals as opposed to fans, like the Billboard Music Awards. What do we think about this split in regard to Morgan Wallen?
Do you think they're underground Morgan Wallen fans?
Oh, definitely.
Right.
Definitely. And I would say there's just regular Morgan Wallen fans, but I think some people are embarrassed because of the climate to say that they're Morgan Wallen fans because of what
happened
he did
in 2021.
Right.
He used the most horrific racial slur.
Right. So if you say you're a Morgan Wallen fan and you're connected in any sort of way, you are now a racist. That's how I was talking about labels earlier. If you say something about Biden, that's just where we are as a culture. So you could say, I don't know who Morgan Wallen is, but really you sing all of his songs at home. My kids know all of his songs. It's because of YouTube. It's just in the algorithm. They know his songs. He was coming to concert and my wife's like, hey, should we go to Morgan Wallen? I'm like, I don't think I could go to that concert, to be perfectly honest with you. And she's like, why? I'm like, just because of my job and my position, and people think I'm racist if I go to that show. That's where we are as a society. That's why when we talk about things like anti-cancel culture and things like that, there's rumblings of people who are like, I'm tired of being labeled this when I'm not, when I just want to listen to a song, for instance. But this is where we are in society. That's why I don't like award shows, because people are like, Hollywood's not tainted. It's completely tainted.
In what way?
In what way? Politically. Completely tainted.
Well, okay, so I think I would want to stick on this part because I do think you're right about the Morgan Wallen, like people who won't publicly say it, because I have someone who is coming to town and I didn't know why, and it turned out that was the reason why they were coming to town and didn't want to say that to me. And I was like, I'm not checking for Morgan Wallen like that. However, it's not about Morgan Wallen. It's about the climate of anybody who has faced some scrutiny or has done something and is looking for a redemption arc, or in some cases will never have a redemption arc. If it's not Morgan Wallen, then it's going to be R. Kelly. If it's not R. Kelly, then it's going to be, at this point, now people are like, well, what do we do about Diddy? You know, there's all of these things where people are constantly having the conversation, are we separating the art from the artist? But what if we still appreciate the artist? Are we allowed to have this? Are we allowed, like, if you, usually I don't do this, are you shutting it off, or are you gonna ride with the song? I don't really know if, I don't know. I mean, I understand, and I think that you're right. I really do. I'm not checking for Morgan Wallen like that, but I also don't think that it's necessary to have award shows that are all based on the same premise, and I don't believe that they are.
But I think everybody wants to be recognized by the industry.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a different thing. It's like you could have a show about the artistry, and you can have a show about the popularity, and that's what it is. I think when you're talking about the Grammys or the CMAs, a lot of those people are voted in as to be the ambassadors of what they consider to, you know, be the face or the idea of whoever they're representing.
Well, in a weird way, that's why I think Michael Vick is such a good example here, because he was on the outs with so much of the country after he literally went to federal prison, the penitentiary for 2.5 years. He was dogged in the public, no pun intended, and he came out and he took his path to redemption by going around and speaking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times about his upbringing and what led him to those decisions. And he eventually played in the NFL again. He eventually became an analyst. He still speaks to kids.
He did the work.
He did the work. And we have to present everything here. Morgan Wallen did give $500,000 to a Black Country Music Coalition.
I believe, yeah.
And, you know, I believe he apologized. I don't know how sincere. I don't remember that apology. And it's really not for me to judge, because I'm not a Morgan Wallen fan. All I'm saying is we should always try and give people a pathway back to being something better, because
if they earned it.
If they earned it, and if people have decided no one will ever be 100% on Michael Vick's side, but the vast majority of the public is. And I think when you do anything or when you live this life, it's messy and you're going to make some enemies along the way. The best way is like, how does he get back and be the best version of him? And I'm interested. I don't know if maybe he's like, I don't want to apologize. It's just interesting.
I think he did apologize. I don't even listen. I have such a strong take when it comes to racial slurs, especially with adults. And yes, if he's going to have a comeback, to Erica's famous slogan, he's going to have to earn that comeback.
Does the $500,000, is that a good start?
To me, money helps, but I want to see boots on the ground action. And I do think with these major award shows, they are, to Erica's point also, an ambassador where we need to have a moral compass. So yes, they need to 1,000% be an incredible artist, but I don't want to celebrate someone that says the N-word.
Right.
So
Listen,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't think Michael Vick would have gotten. He might be back on the NFL, but he's not getting the NFL MVP award because he's not going to be.
He did the work.
He did the work, but
I guarantee you he's probably gotten like Man of the Year, Citizen of the Year.
I'm just saying the ambassadorship is important between those two. Clearly, the billboards are the fans, and the other is the industry. That's all I was saying. Go ahead.
It's just tough because no matter if you take any sort of his side, you're racist. That's just how we are. If you give Joe Rogan any credit for being the #1 podcast, you're somehow,
A conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's just like you can't. Like, doesn't anybody have discernment? Can I listen to his music without being racist? Can I listen to Joe Rogan without being labeled something? But we don't give. We check boxes now when we have award shows instead of giving it to the #1 show. Morgan Wallen doesn't need that award. He sold out like that across the country. Joe Rogan doesn't need an award. He gets millions from his podcast. But we're taking these people that are #1 in their industry, and because they did something in their past, now we're ignoring them and handing an award to someone else based off of because you don't like my guy or I don't like your guy.
But see, the only thing I'll disagree with you on is I don't think you're wrong about what you're saying. I do think that the idea that this is new is inaccurate. I think the idea that we have people who have a voice and a mouthpiece and a platform to dissent on whether you're at the top of your game or at the bottom, there's always going to be an opinion on that. It's just that those opinions are louder. So the idea that this is a new thing, that labeling is new, is, to me, inaccurate.
I hear you. For me, it's definitely new and extreme because I've gone through it the last couple of years.
I understand that you feel that way.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, but it's the same with like Lizzo. Like you can't listen to Lizzo's music now because she went to an allegation. How are we supposed to feel about P. Diddy? Do I believe the court or not? It's like, why don't you judge me on my merit instead of something that I might have said on a television show, or you're going to cast me for this because of something I said or didn't say, or because of my political party. That's ridiculous.
And that's also where discernment comes in to try and discover if Morgan Wallen is that isolated incident, or if he is willing to earn the comeback that he's willing to keep.
Everyone's deserving of the comeback they're willing to earn.
Is he deserving? Yes. And so I think. Okay, I think we've explored this topic enough. All right, Mariah Carey, also picked up a Billboard Music Award last night. Mariah's kids presented their mom with the Chart Achievement Award for her hit song, All I Want for Christmas Is You. She later performed the song for the first time on the show. Let's take a look. All right, so we were all trying to listen
and see,
because people are criticizing her performance.
Now, a lot of people say she lip syncs, which she does constantly, and a lot of people say she isn't live, which she doesn't do many times. What I see here is, and maybe I'm wrong, I see
sounds like you're those people.
Yeah, when I see her, I wish she would really sing. When I see her close her eyes and then open, she reminds me of a Barbra Streisand where the mic wasn't right, the levels weren't right, and she's pissed. And to me, this looks like she knows this is bad, and the second she opens her eyes, she's like, someone's getting fired.
Okay.
That's my take on this. Like, it was not set up for me to do this song, and it should be set up for me every time.
Don't they do a sound check before this?
Yeah, but as Erica said earlier,
if you do a sound, like, first of all, this is silly. She's freaking Mariah Carey.
She did sound pretty bad.
She has had a career that has spanned over the course of, 30 years. y'all act like she's never allowed to miss a note.
She missed last year too, though.
Oh,
and I love her.
Okay,
and
but
I
it's
love
like,
her.
And the tea
how
incident.
many times is she performing a year? Or how many times has she performed in a lifetime? Like, are we going to take the batting average of Mariah Carey over the terms of her entire career?
Well,
it's
this
like
is her
anytime
song.
there's certain people who anytime they make just the slightest little misstep, then it's amplified. This is 7 seconds of All I Want for Christmas Is You is like a 25-minute song.
When you
this
say-
is like 7 seconds
Real
of
quickly,
it.
real
And we're
quickly.
like scrutinizing it.
Let me
that's
just
what we're
let me
up here
just
to
make this
do.
point. These two stories connect. Because we're talking about someone's batting average, but if you strike out once in life, you're labeled forever.
That's not, no, I don't think
you don't
they
think
do
that's a
connect.
right?
No, I don't think they connect because I think the consequences of what we're talking about are very different.
I
You're
know, I
talking
understand,
about,
but-
you know, a performance, and like for us, it's funny to me too because for us, we do a show every single day, multiple shows. The idea that we're going to be perfect and 100% on for every single show is ridiculous.
Right.
Yet you'll talk about people coming on and labeling you as unprofessional or not this
I
or
didn't
not
say it's
that.
unprofessional. I said it's
Because-
unfair.
No, I'm saying that's what people will say if you mess up, that
not-
it wasn't
no,
professional. But I'm saying over the scope of your career, are you allowed to make a mistake?
We don't, of course you're allowed to make a mistake, but we also didn't all label ourselves the Queen of Christmas. When you say that I own this block of time and you have the #1 billions of streams in the song and you are singing it live and people are excited because we have anointed you as one of the best voices of our lifetime, when you miss a note or two, especially when it starts to become a little bit of a pattern, people are allowed to comment. This is a live performance. She is an artist. She is making art, and art can be critiqued.
I agree with that.
She missed the note.
I agree
She
with
has
that.
nailed most of them. We love Mariah, but she is not above reproach.
I'm not saying she's above reproach, but does she
She the
deserve
Queen of
to
Vienna?
be saying that she was on something because she
I'm not
missed the
saying
note?
she. I'm just saying she looked
Well,
out of it.
that's been the sentiment.
I didn't say that. I just said she missed the note. She missed the note. Can you say that?
She missed it.
Can we say that?
I don't know what's appropriate.
No, Erica's gonna say she missed the note. Sam, don't
Oh
say
wait,
a word.
did you just
Write
demand
that.
I say something?
Oh, I want to see.
Oh, I know you didn't demand I say something.
Will you say that she
Like,
missed the note?
Because you said
I'm asking
jump,
you to
I'm
be-
supposed
I'm
to
asking
jump.
you to be honest.
But please,
You're not gonna say it.
are you going to admit what you said?
With what? Yes,
we got to?
yeah, she looked like she was a little sleepy or something. She did.
By the way, she'll be here in Denver
did.
tomorrow night. Enjoy the show.
Yeah.